Hello, hello everyone, and I hope that I'm back from ads now. Hello, Gage, how you doing? I hope your day is good. I'm planning on working on knocking out these quests. There are several of them that I've yet to finish. Lots of these early quests give you food, and I'm to the point where I can just hold on to the food and turn it into canned food and eat it that way. This being the far easier way to eat food in Gregtech than just scarfing down a meal or whatever. Do I what? Looks like I need to build 4 basic capacitors and some machine frames. So I'm going to need some aluminum, some manganese, some polyethylene, some steel, and some electrical steel. So we'll go get that electrical steel, hopefully. We will grab that manganese. 4 of those. A couple of aluminum. And 8 steel. All right. Get these all going. Get the steel rolling out. Electrical steel. Get these bolts, as well as the casings. Let's start with the bolts. And manganese needs to be rolled out twice. Move on to those steel casings. Put the extruder shape away. Pick up those manganese and roll them out a second time to get the foil. Put this put away as well. We'll pick up those casings. We'll pick up those bolts. We'll pick up the foil and the electrical steel plates. Go pick up the polyethylene. Put this on number 1. Get those bolts and the foil in there, making those basic capacitors. And then machine chassis, you can make for a lot less in an assembler, so we'll do that as well here in a moment. Seems I made too much of this stuff, but that's okay. It can easily be converted back. And it didn't give me credit for those capacitors, so I didn't keep them in my inventory long enough. Well, we can get credit for it the other way. I think I can disassemble these machine frames and get the capacitors back, and then reassemble them if need be. Oh, that's an optional task. Okay. We'll take some more machine for chassis. And then we'll take a look at these batteries. I need 4 empty capacitor banks. So how do I make those? Wow. Lots of capacitors, a cadmium battery. Conversely, I think I already have 4. Kitty, kitty. Maybe I only have 3 of them. Let's do a quick search. Nope, I have 4. All right. We'll put these 2 back because they're kind of doing things. We'll put this one back because it's, again, kind of doing things. And we'll put this one away. All right. Want those loot bags. That's the mechanic I'm trying to do, is to get all the loot bags, then enchant them, then open them all, because that will be fun. Put away all these quest coins. And what's the next one we have here? Ore processing, kind of. The endless war between macerators and sag mills. Upgraded grinding heads. Perfect machines for getting most without using bees and crops. You can get bonus outputs with tungsten grinding heads, but that doesn't mean you can dupe materials like ingots with it. Plus, for many of you, you'll get the final output directly without needing any further processing. Handy for processing redstone to get chrome. It's great for lead, copper, tin, silver, nickel, redstone, ruby, lapis, certus, quartz, and malachite. Other ores give you better outputs as well if you get enough head. Even coal, charcoal, bones, wheat, ender pearls, and charcoal non-ores will give bonus outputs. That said, the Gregtech ones are still way faster later on. So, making one of these requires some LV components, some LV circuits, some steel casings, which we made a couple extras of. Let's see what we don't have. Don't have the pistons. The piston. So we'll need 5 more steel. Roll out a majority of that. Turn one of those into rods. And the final one needs to be a gear shape. Put that gear shape away. Pick up those. Pick up those. And go make that piston. And then we're going to need this diamond saw blade, which is a diamond dust and a cobalt brass gear, which is the same price in a fluid solidifier as it is in a extruder. Do we have any of this? We do have some cobalt brass. All right. Let's go make a big gear out of it. Then we'll need some diamond dust. Grab one of those. Put the shape head away. And that's done in the assembler. With no number. Now it's going to take a little bit, so Have a little drink of water. All right. Grab that diamond saw blade. Head back over. And complete the quest. Oh, nope. What did we deal with the... We left it in there. Okay. So I thought we had some more machine casing. But not in our inventory. And we'll get that loot bag. Put it away. Put those away. The sag mill will work with no grinding heads. Flint heads want to save a little power. If you want to exploit the true capacities of the sag mill, you'll want to use diamond or tungsten grinding heads. Craft a diamond head and they'll give you a tungsten one as a reward. Okay. So that's this. And some steel. So that's 8 steel. And that's through the bending machine on a 2. And then we'll need a diamond and some more diamond dust. Diamonds are over here. Diamond dust is up here. Go pick up that more steel. Set this back to where I normally keep it. And make that grinding head for the quest. Apparently you have to give it up. And then get the tungsten one back. Apparently it reduces the power by 40% and increases the outputs by 50%. That's actually pretty impressive. All right. Making things pretty needs conduits. So a Stirling generator, I'm pretty sure I've got one of those. Just have to go pick it up. An alloy smelter. It does not allow you to make the EIO alloys, though. You'll need a mixer and probably EBF for that. Quite clear glass and fused quartz, okay. Then we need a fluid tank. I want to say I have one of those. Picked it up from a loot game. Let's see here. Maybe I left it over yonder. Let's go take a look. Trying to turn that volume down. Seems I have a machine that's unhappy. We'll take care of that and turn the volume back on. Says there's a loose pipe. Get out the wrench and repair that. Is there any other machines that are going to be noisy? I can hope not. Looks like those are all okay. This one's okay. He's okay. Just a few more to check. Don't want that noise to come back again. It is rather loud. Okay. All right. Now, I was looking for a fluid tank, which I think was here but is no longer here. What did I do with the fluid tank that I had? Do you have the Stirling generator? Let's see if I can just pick that up. Sweet. Did I use it in a craft, I wonder? You can make a combustion generator with it. I probably made a combustion generator with it because I have a combustion generator and I don't remember making a fluid tank. So that's probably what happened to it. It's nighttime, so we'll do a quick sleep. And we'll head back up and make that fluid tank that we don't have, that I was thinking I might have. This requires an LV pump, some steel bars, and some more steel casings. I think I have everything. Let's find out. Don't have the electrical steel frame box. That's 4 steel rods. I have a couple of ingots put through the extruder. We'll make those electrical steel rods. Get that going. Then you put that into assembler on 4. And it will make that frame box. Let's try that again. Okay. Then we want those loot bags. We can put away the wrench. We can put away our sleeping bag. And the next quest is this alloy smelter. It's quite the impressive little machine. 3 iron furnaces. So that's going to be a bunch of cobble. And 15 iron. The iron needs to go through a bending machine to become iron plates. The cobble needs to be on 8 here. And we're going to need 24 of those. Put that extra cobble away. Pick up those iron plates. Pretty sure these are made in the assembler on no number. Yep. And then we're going to need a cauldron, which is going to be 7 more iron made into plates as well. And then some motors and some logic circuits. We've got those. This is made in a assembler on 7. The cauldron I'm talking about. Get that cauldron. Get those iron furnaces. And make that alloy smelter. And claim the quest. What do we have next? We need conduits. We have everything but energy conduits. Do I have any energy conduits? Have what appears to be 6. Got those ones. I got that one. I want to make some more. I'm going to need some gold wire and some conductive iron plate. So we'll need 2 of each of those. Have any conductive iron? Let's find out. We don't have any conductive iron. Do we have any conductive iron dust? We don't have any conductive iron dust. Alright, how do I make conductive iron dust? Redstone, iron, and silver. Redstone, iron, silver. Yep. Okay. Turn that here. Do that one here. And then does this have to be made in the blast furnace? It does, with oxygen. Okay, on 11. That's not difficult. Over to the mixer. And did that need to be on a specific number? Number 2. Okay, what did I do wrong? For the dust in the mixer. Silver, iron. Oh, redstone alloy. Whoops. Okay. Do I have any redstone alloy? Okay, I do not have any redstone alloy or any ingots. Maybe I've got some wire. I've got some wire, but it's in a cable form. I think I'll use that because I only need 1, and this will be pretty quick to get back. Provided the macerator isn't busy already, which it's not. Alright, got that dust. Got a little bit of rubber pulp, which will just turn into... well, we'll just leave it as rubber pulp for now. I'll maybe clear that up and turn that into other rubber later. Put that in instead. That'll mix up. Put away the redstone. Need some of that food. Put these cans in to be made back into filled cans. Keeping our food stockpile full. Then we'll put these in on 11. And I know that it's got oxygen, so this should just take a short amount of 7 seconds to make up those ingots. We just need the 1. No, we need 2. We also need gold wire. Let's get the gold wire working. This can be made in the wire mill. That's going. Pick up those ingots. Turn 2 of them into plates. Put the final one away. Get the plates. Get the wire. Strip that wire into 2x. And then this is made in the MV assembler. Can do a little better with an HP assembler. We need some polyethylene though. No, No number. There it goes. There's that quest complete. We'll put this one back. It probably won't do exactly what I want because I haven't programmed it correctly, but that's fine because I rarely use that machine. I just don't want to take apart something that was working and replace it with something that isn't working. Choose a reward. I don't use the fluid conduit like that. I don't use the redstone conduit like that. And I do use the item conduit everywhere, but the energy conduit was something that I didn't have. Can this be upgraded? It cannot be upgraded, but it can be converted into some other stuff. What is this? That's not a quest reward, so I guess I'll just take the item conduit because I have no need of the other stuff. Put that reward with the rest of the item conduit I've made. And onto this conduit binder, conduit facade, hardened conduit facade, and a painting machine. I've got a painting machine. I can make the rest of this stuff. Let's go pick up. I think it takes multiple binder composites to make a single conduit binder. Okay, it doesn't. It takes conduit binder with molten rubber and chemical bath. Okay. So we'll get some molten rubber going. Do I have any already? Just no. So grab a just shy of a stack of this raw rubber. Grab some sulfur for, I believe the process is called vulcanization. And put that in my chemical reactor. In that chemical reactor, it makes it into the liquid rubber. That's to replace the rubber we're going to be using, which I've got some extra right there. Then chemical bath is this guy right here, but he's filled with mercury right now, so we'll empty out that mercury. You use mercury to do ore processing. We want some rubber in there. Did this require no number? Okay. So put some binder conduit in there. And it looks like we're going to get 2 per, so we should get the 128 out of what we just put in there. So we can put these away. And then what will it take to make the conduit facade? Okay. And to make the hardened conduit facade, we're going to need molten obsidian. That's okay. I've got plenty of molten obsidian. Do I have 16 times 4 buckets? That's going to be about 8,000. I've got 39,000, so that's plenty. Gonna need a way to get that out though, so a low voltage tank would probably be best. We'll put that tank here. We'll remove this seared faucet. Go ahead and put that seared faucet away. I rarely use it. Bring the molten obsidian to the bottom. Get a ender fluid conduit. Actually, do I have? Yeah, I have liquid translocators. That's gonna be faster. And yep. Those liquid translocators are really, really nice. Check on these. Oh, we've got them. Made a little extra, but that's fine. Put this stuff away. I think when I originally made this for other purposes, that I thought it was going to take a lot more of the binder composite than it did. So I made a bunch of extra. It is night in game, so I'll sleep again. And we'll check the quest progress. I think it said 8 of these in a assembler on number 8. So number 8, that's 8, that's 16. And then to make the hardened facades, we need the obsidian in the chemical bath. We'll pick up our rubber that we made. It's a replacement. That's strange, it's not going into the lower tank. I thought... Wait, no. That was items. Try that again. Insert. Okay, so it's not extracting. Up. Liquids. Extract liquids. Okay. The machine wasn't configured as I expected it, so I reconfigured it. This is going to have my molten obsidian. And then I'll put it all back. We need to get the 16 of these guys into our inventory to get that quest unlock. Put those, set MV. MV is plenty. Those guys go in, the molten obsidian goes in. We'll just babysit this a little bit. Put our rubber away. I'm doing these quests to finish out this part of the quest book. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these machines. I may do some testing on the sag mill. I don't know. It said there were some efficiencies, but then it said that bees would be better, and I am doing bees, so it's entirely possible that using this would be suboptimal for ore processing. And I've got most of my ore processing set up, so I don't know necessarily what I'm going to do with that. These hardened conduits I'll put next to the regular conduits that I keep. In my building chest, we'll put this molten obsidian back into the smeltery. Put the aluminum fluid cell back. This is done. We'll get the wrench out to remove this. Get that seared faucet put back on. Put these things away. Put my wrench away. And then we'll go pick up that painting machine that I know where it is. You might have spotted it earlier if you were looking carefully at this other setup. It's right here. Pick it up, get credit for it. And what do we want? Well, I would say these hardened conduits are the most difficult to get, so we'll use those. And we'll put those away as well. What do we have next? We have the Yeta wrench. We've apparently gotten credit for it, so that's perfect. And improving conduits. This is going to be a big quest to do. I'm going to do this quest a little later. And then we have the combustion generator, which I have, but it's over somewhere else. What's this final one? Okay, yep. Those are both over at the other base. We'll head up and glide over there. The staff of traveling makes it nice to do traveling. Let's see here. This is the combustion generator. Get credit for him and put him away. Then we need credit for the vat. Get those loot bags. And what do we have here? Nutrient distillation bucket. Okay, that recipe is something I can't actually store in NEI. Hooch and firewater. Fairly certain. Yep. See, I think I've got those. Just a matter of putting them in a bucket and holding them. So I think I'll pick up the inputs because that'll be the easier way. And I think I'll disable the transport while I'm doing this. So on fluid, turn off extraction, and on fluid, turn off extraction. So we'll get the bucket of maybe we'll get the bucket of firewater this way. And then again, maybe we won't. What about the hooch? Nope. Okay. So we can pick it up, but we can't put it back. Okay, well, such is life. Claim these rewards. Is there anything I can do with this stuff? I can void it. Okay. And that's what I'm going to do. Then, to make this nutrient distillation, I'm going to need... I think I saw rotten flesh in here. Oh, it's just about any meat. But yeah, rotten flesh and a mushroom. Yep, a mushroom and water. Okay. So hopefully, yeah, extraction is disabled. Get rid of these guys. dump the tank, pick up a rotten flesh and a mushroom. The rotten flesh I don't store in my food stockpiles. The mushrooms I do. Head back over. Add those in. We're going to empty out our fluid tank into a fluid trash can. Because gross. Or not. Going to need to use the liquid transporter trick again. Oh, that didn't make a full bucket. Okay. We'll need one more rotten flesh and one more mushroom to get a full bucket. Not sure why it made 570 or whatever odd millibuckets, but that's what it decided to do. Progress 79%. Alright, now we've got a full bucket. And we can void the extra. Put the normal stuff back in there to be creating some more hooch. This I initially built to try to power the recharger for my staff of traveling before I found out that you can just use Gregtech energy to do it. And then it's just kind of sat here and kind of done nothing. Let's see here. Turn extraction back on. So it's back to the normal way. Same on this side. Okay. Do I need this bucket for anything? I can make do with the void. You're sure you'll have a use for something someday, eventually, maybe. Okay, so just something to make to complete a quest. We can always make more if we decide we need it in the future. Just turn that into nothing. It's helping us by telling us how to make something, right? Use the wrench to pick up this. Use the pickaxe to pick up this. Put it away. Put that wrench away. Listen to the kitty cat's meow. First way you get biomass out of biochaff is to use the IC2 fluid canner. 1 bucket of water gives a bucket of biomass. This way is not really recommended. It's buggy. You might need to use... Wow. Well, what I can tell you is I'll probably be making it and then unmaking it. Let's hope that that works. Let's make sure this one's empty. It is. I suppose if this goes poorly, I'll make the MV versions of these machines. Yeah, there's no fluid in here. All right. And then it had to be in an assembler. I'll put all these quest coins away. And we'll put these loot bags away. And then we'll take a look at our machine we just made. And then given that it was this is this and that is buggy, we'll just get our machines back that we had before. MV quest giving LV loot bags. Just beautiful. Let's put all these other machines away in here, because we're not going to be using them anytime soon. We can get the resources back out of these guys. Put our wrench away, because we will be using it when we reinstall the machine, so don't put it away, actually. 2 of these can just be restored in the... These can be made into ingots in the smelter, right? Yep. And then this will need to be made in the fluid solidifier to be made back into an ingot. Ingots. All right. Put all these ingots away. More stuff to put away. Put away the copper, put away the steel. Put away this granite. And the electrical steel. Let's go see if our machines are back. Sweet. So the fluid canner went on the right, and the normal canner, I did that completely backwards. Good job. All right. Basic canner goes on this side. Fluid canner goes on this side. And then we'll put the extra back away. Set the exports to the bottom. And turn on output. All right. Next quest. Gonna be this bioorganic mash. If you want to save the environment, you can autoclave 16 plant balls to get a raw biofiber with the following liquids. Making carbon plates will require electronic blast furnace. Okay. Nitrodiesel. I don't even know what nitrodiesel is. So... I wonder if that quest has been fixed, because it says nitrodiesel. It's actually centane boosted diesel. Maybe that's called nitrodiesel in another way. I think fuel is just diesel, essentially. I think diesel and fuel are interchangeable, or all but. So we'll use that. And it says 16 plant balls with a little tiny bit of fuel. We'll see if I've got some fuel. Because I think I do. But it's going to be with my helicopter pack. Okay. Thought it was going to be in there. Maybe it's... Aha. Perfect. And then we're going to need a bunch of plant balls. We need 48. 48 times 16 is a lot. With 10% loss is a lot more. So... let's hope that we have enough. And it said we're making these in the what machine? autoclave. Autoclave is this guy. Plant balls, diesel. Okay, yep, it's working. And then we need 48 of those. All right. Got about, what is that? About a quarter of them done. Shouldn't take too long. Once we get those, we have to do what? Assemble them. And that takes a bunch more time. But you have to have the full stack to do this in order to turn it into this. So we'll just hold on to it. Need to make an acid generator apparently. $30 of 48 done. Oh, good. We'll make this into a universal cell so we can pick up the diesel once it's done, and that'll stop the processing essentially. Turn off the item output. We need 9 more. 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on, 5. Oh, we're out. That was not enough plant balls. Said we needed 9 more of these. We've got our 9. Pick up our diesel. Put the extras away. And that part of the quest is complete. The fastest assembler I've got's over here. I think it said the number 2. Yeah, this is going to take a minute. We'll have multiple assemblers working simultaneously. Try to get the best speed out of this. Where are we at? That's about right, I suppose. Oof. Those ones aren't going to be done anytime soon. This one's barely done. Give that one more to do, and we'll give this one the final one, because it was going through them pretty quickly. That's those guys. Those 4. This one's on its last one. And this one's done. All right. Pick up that loot bag. And the next quest. Biocarbon plates made out of raw carbon mesh. Put in the electric blast furnace to make carbon plates. So, compressor. We've got a steam squasher just for this kind of stuff. Yeah, I think I've done this with the raw carbon mesh every time before, because this seems really, really slow. This one isn't fast either. So while that processes, we'll work on this acid furnace. It has to be an annealed copper cable, huh? Interesting. Don't have any annealed copper yet, but we can go make one. And draw that into wire. And coat that wire with some rubber. Then we need a machine hull and an advanced chemical reactor, which is another machine hull. Wow. And some empty batteries. So that's going to require some tin cable and some battery alloy plates. I have 4. Okay. What does it take to make more? Takes antimony and lead. So 4 lead, 1 antimony. Can I just make this in the alloy smelter, I hope? I can. 6 tin cables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the polyethylene I've got over there. How's the steam squasher doing? Cool. And these are made in the blast furnace with no number, ultra slow. No number, get to cracking. Oh. My blast furnace apparently will do something that takes 30 seconds in 1. Was I just wrong on those numbers? I thought it said 30 seconds. It does say 30 seconds. Maybe it's just... I mean, that's 30 to 1. Half of. It's a lot of halving. But it says it's doing them in 1 second, which I'm happy with. Maybe it's like 1.5 seconds. I don't know. Oh, we're in an ad break. Okay. If you're not in an ad break, hello tempers. I infrequently stream. This is like, I want to say my 11th stream, and I'll repeat that in a minute here. But since we're in an ad, I will just hold off on doing anything else. Oh, excellent. Well, I'm glad you have turbo, and I'm glad I'm good. How's it going? Hi. Life is good. Like I said, I infrequently stream. Yesterday, another streamer had asked me to show off the progress I'd made. I assume he's gonna watch the VOD because I don't think he's here. Maybe he'll come in later. I don't know. But he was like, I want to see the progress because I've been talking about a tower that I've been making. And since he's not here and he wasn't asking to look at that, I decided to just work on some MV quests. Take this loot bag. I'm pretty much doing all these quests for the loot bags. Okay, so you make them the organic way here, and then you get this one as well. That's fun. 2 quests with one combine, essentially. But, We're working on this quest here. Quest complete, quest complete, quest complete. Put away these quest coins. And these. And the farmer coins. Pick up the battery alloy ingots. Turn some of those into plates for those small batteries. Put the rest of them away. Not sure what I'm going to do with those, so I'll just stick them in a chest for now. This extra fuel I'm going to stick in my copter pack if I can. Looks like I cannot. This extra fuel I'm not going to stick in my copter pack. I guess I'll put it with all this other extra fuel that I just have sitting around. Kind of what I do with things when I am not sure what I want to do with them. Hang on to them for later. Maybe throw them out next time. But yeah, I occasionally stream Tempers. I'm glad to see you here. Just 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. I had a real life question someone wanted me to answer, so took a second to do that. I believe I was making these batteries. Put these loot bags away while we're waiting on that. Is everything else available? No, we need a bronze rotor, which means picking up 17 bronze ingots. Because 17 bronze ingots is the right number to make 4 rotors. And I try to make things as inexpensively as possible. And using the fluid extractor is less than using the MV extruder, which uses 5 ingots per. This uses 4 1/4 ingots per. And I like to save resources whenever I can. I probably have slowed my progress in doing so, but I don't mind that. Slow play is fine as far as I'm concerned. What was I making? I was making bronze rotors. Put this mold back away. Store these bronze rotors. Grab a machine hull. Let's hide this cable. Let's hide one of these holes. I don't want to make 2 of these on accident. Alright. Pick those back up. And make this acid generator. I don't think I'm actually ever going to use this. After a couple of hours, days, weeks of processing redstone for chlorine, you'll have a massive stockpile of mercury and not know what to do with it. You can store it all in super tanks, but really, how much hypochloric acid does one need? Instead, you can build an acid generator and get a little power out of it. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to use that. Let's see if I can get the components back out of it. If I ever do need it, I will just remake it. I have my suspicions I will not need it. This way I can at least get the components back and not just have an item that I'm never going to use. Alright. Methane gas. That is a lot of methane. Do I have any methane? I have methanol. I have half of that. Well, that's something. What is going to be my easy way of making methane? So I know you can just make carbon and hydrogen into it. Do I have more methane somewhere? Was methane one of the ingredients in making ammonia, I think? Or am I remembering wrong? Which is entirely probable. What was being made over here? Nitrogen, hydrochloric acid. Okay, so it was ammonia, not methane. All right. I want to make a whole bunch of methane. And I want to make it in the chemical reactor because that's going to be the fast way. I'm going to need a bunch of hydrogen and a little bit of carbon. 4 hydrogen per methane. I need 32 methane. That's 16. That's 32. I think I've got some hydrogen down here. Let's find out if I've got stored hydrogen. I do have stored hydrogen. All right, then I'll just need some carbon. Got plenty of carbon back at the old base. So we'll head over there. Did I actually make a grid in the sky to block rain? No. I mean, what? And yes, I haven't upgraded since I installed the game. I don't upgrade packs once I start them. I kind of think of that as, almost changing pack. Because, you start a pack and things inside the pack change. If there's major breaking in the game, I'll deal with that, I guess. But so you put in an annealed copper cable, you get out a not a good copper cable. How silly. Yeah, I don't really want these small batteries either. And I might need a chemical reactor, so I'll just hold on to that. I'm sorry you lost your chemical. Excuse me, not your chemical. I'm sorry you lost your disassembler. That's really unfortunate. Let's essentially disassemble these cables. I don't know if I can convert the small pile. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Just apparently I have another small pile from somewhere. It was centrifuging? Yeah. Just toss this in an LV centrifuge and someday take care of it. We needed 32 carbon. And then we need a chemical reactor, my high-speed chemical reactor that's over here. And then to make this chemical reactor was on a 1. I just love that I spawned bats. I hope you can tell I was not being serious there. Hydrogen goes here. And then we'll use some cells. Huh, thought I had some cells in there. We'll use some cells from over here to store all this methane. Oh, okay. No, it's just a glass roof. Yeah. Do you want a tour of the various bases I've got? I could totally show you off those and stop doing these MV quests for now. That might be more interesting. Okay. We've got a flight potion. We might as well use it. So, this is my second base. I didn't like dealing with nights that were unsleepable called blood moons by hiding inside of a hole and wishing that the enemies would leave me alone. So I put myself in a place where literally nothing will spawn. I built a staircase up to the sky. I built a base on top of the staircase, and then I proceeded to build on the base until I had a problem. I had an EBF here. I had an EBF with some LV generators, gas generators. I was making the benzene over here, and I was burning it over here to, do a second EBF. And the second EBF and the generators never got a roof, unfortunately. And because they didn't have a roof, when it rained, I had a problem. And my realization at that point was that I was not probably best off by building in a sky base, because I was perfectly happy to not build a roof over something. So I decided that my next building would be a building and not just a sky base. So I put a sign here to remind myself that, I should build a roof before I build an EBF. I put all the components that I managed to save in a chest over here. I built a second sign that said, don't make the EBF until you build your roof. So I've actually never built another EBF up on this base just for that reason. And this led me into my third base. I am doing a little bit of magic over here. I've got other magic over yonder. I should sleep to get rid of the rain. I should go back to base 1 just to show it off. But yes, the EBF and the whatnot all blew up and caused massive problems. My original base over here, I still use it for bees. I do my normal bee breeding here, as well as some desert breeding over there. But this is an infrequent use. I do have a little bit of storage over here for all the extra drones that I haven't dealt with yet, as well as all the weaponry that I've gotten from my infernal mobs that I've killed, and some stuff that I've just looted over time. But all of this storage is like my deep storage, whatever have you, so that I don't have to have it at my base taking up memory and possibly causing corruption. This tower I built when I was first starting, and this is a reminder of all the things that went wrong and maybe how to do them better. For example, I really don't like the nether here. It's really rough when you start off. It could be better. Um, Here's some farming that I set up originally. This is my first crucible from Thaumcraft. Here are some original trees. Here's my original rubber tree. I very, very quickly transitioned away from the rubber tree and into the stickweed. I think all my stickweed's up at the sky base. I've got some little animal traps here and there. These are basically mines, which I'm not going to bother to fall in right now. My original nether portal was here. I remade it at one point accidentally, but this is not the nether portal I use to get to the nether, because I tend to stick on the roof when I go to the nether because the nether is a very bad place. I do all my Thaumcraft here because if things went poorly in Thaumcraft, I did not want them to affect my main base. So I've got all my Thaumcraft stuff here. I've got my Thaumic Restorer here, which we'll use to fill back up this potion flask. And then I've got my infusion crafting room. This is part of the infusion crafting room. When my first infusion crafting was attempted, I didn't have hardly any of this stuff, and it was aggravating, a mess, and basically just a problem. So I went a little overboard on making sure that I did not have the same problem again. I believe this has 172 stability, which is a lot. Maybe even a lot. I don't know. I went from like having probably no stability to having 172 stability between my first attempt at infusion crafting, and this was like the first introduction to using Thaumcraft ever. It was like, here's some quests, here's what you do. I built the runic matrix, I built the pedestals, I set them down, and I tried to craft without any stability. I don't remember what item I was trying to make. I could look at the quest book and maybe figure it out, but it's not important. Basically, what's important is the fact that I died like 3 times due to flux problems, and I was like, okay, so how do I solve this problem? So I read the quest book really carefully. I looked through things. I actually read a little bit on the Thaumcraft 4 wiki, and it was like, to solve this, you go do all this stability stuff. So I went, okay, let's go grab all of my skulls. Let's go grab all of my zombie heads. Let's go grab all of the stuff I have, and let's make it as stable as possible. The second time I tried to craft, it worked just fine, and I have since learned that this was overkill. But I don't mind the overkill because it's good. I've got my little alchemical construct here. I've got my essentia stored here. Bronze screws in order to make more instrumentum. I've got a pair of arcane alchemical furnaces that then feed into jars that I stick here on the ground. Here are my empties. When I make crystallized essences, sometimes I store them away. Sometimes I just leave them in the chest they go into. I've got my primal shrooms here. I've got my bookcases and a little bit more just decorative stuff from Thaumcraft. This being my first base, I left a bed here. I left the farms here. I left the farm animals here. My first oil well was somewhere over here. I don't remember exactly. I could probably find it. When I want to do frozen bees, I sometimes come over here. Where are the bees set up? Have I just misplaced my mind? I thought that I had frozen bees set up over here. Oh, there they are. They're over by the dogs. Yeah, no. We'll come back when I'm flying, and you can't attack me. And we'll kill you. Where'd the other one go? Wasn't there two? Whatever. So I set up a little bee thing here for breeding. I have the bee breeding for the warmer, the desert, and the normal over here. I did the normal by planting a silverwood sapling and getting lucky with one of those nodes. But after the EBF explosion, I decided I needed a different base entirely. This is not it. This is my villager stronghold. We can take a look at that in a minute. And this is the third base. I built the third base before I understood about chunk loading here in Gregtech. I was used to older chunk loading mechanics where you basically get 1 for 1. This uses a paid chunk loader system. But basically what you see is, as third base, is my attempts at just doing farming at the Y level where farming works well. I have some crop breeding. I have some crops that are stored that are something I don't want to lose the seeds on. I've got automated ore processing over here. This is the top level. This is storage and input. This particular chunk is used for making power. So on the roof there's a farm. The farm produces logs, saplings. I think the saplings just get tossed away. And then we make benzene, we make oxygen, we make nitrogen. All of this is stored and automated down below. If we come below, you'll see where the multi-blocks are. The single blocks for processing are up there. I've got a power controlled. Oh, why can't I think of the name of this? Pyrolyse oven. There we go. I've got a steam squasher to make the nitrogen and oxygen, and I've got a pair of solid oxide fuel cells to convert the benzene and the oxygen into power. On the back of this, I've got a power storage setup. The steam goes into steam turbine. Some of it can be used by the steam squasher. Not a big deal. And then I've got an EV battery buffer holding all the power. This particular setup is designed to power ore processing automation. This is my ore processing automation. Essentially, the machines are set up as little cells. So if we look at this from the start, we come up to the inputs, and I'll put a compressed chest of whatever inputs I want here, and it'll be stored in all these chests. I need to clear this line out. I haven't round up all these various meteor components yet because I just haven't taken the time, because it's not important right now. There's no resource that I'm currently blocked on. The current block right now is doing MV to get the MV quests done. But for example, the forge hammering for ore automation, this line, which comes from above, I'm trying to find, there it is, the link. So that goes up to where the chests are. It brings it down, and then it filters it, the appropriate items, into the forge hammer pre-chests. And then if I run low on filter space on the first two filters, I just put another chest on top of this, filter the components into that one, and then filter them into these forge hammers. And then the forge hammers hold them until they can find space somewhere else to go. And then they would go back into the processing. The magenta, starting with M, it's the label in my brain for the main line. We have the forge hammers. We have the simple washer. I initially created this to deal with a backlog of redstone and sulfur from the nether. So all of that was stored up in the output area. I have since expanded it to include steam ovens, distilleries for ore washing, because you want distilled water for that for the lower energy. HV sifters for I don't remember what purpose. Let's take a look. Let's not take a look because that's a pain to access. Oh, do. Get the wrench and look at it. HV sifters for pitch blend and thorium and cassiterite and tin. So I imagine that the radium is what I'm looking for from the thorium and pitch blend, and then for cassiterite, I'm guessing zirconium. I don't actually know that. That's just my memory. And then, thermal centrifuges. I've got a small setup here for getting more silver out of silver, because there's a way to get just like 10% more silver when you do silver than you would otherwise get. I don't remember what I was doing with this electrolyzer setup. I can look at the mainline inputs to tell me. So this does something with purified pentolite in the... Oh, this is for processing platinum group sludge dust into... Yeah, okay. So pentolite will give you a little bit of platinum stuff, which seemed important to keep, so I did that. My second EBF is over here. The second EBF is got a automated system to provide it oxygen and carbon here to get a little bit extra stuff out of it. I've got a big HP input plus on this so that it can store a bunch of different materials and then process them over time, including tiny piles of roasted antimony. You know, the EBF has all of these various inputs that it can use just to get a little bit extra out of them. Because when you're doing ore automation, it's like, let's not waste things. So for example, I've got a lot of sulfur dust. Looks like 3,500 crates. I've got a lot of redstone dust, 7,000 crates. And then I think the highest thing I've got is actually iron ingots at 9,000 crates of iron ingots. These are all the various outputs from the ore processing. In order to further set up ore processing, I need more outputs. And essentially, what's holding me up there is I need to make a whole bunch more packagers and super chests and just install them here, which takes a lot of crafting, a lot of micro crafting, and I've just been too lazy to do it. When I need some resource that's stored in those chests over there, I will do the micro crafting to create the further outputs, storages. But for example, I don't actually process oil sands, I just hold on to them. But I've got some coal dust. I've got a lot of coal dust. I didn't realize I had that much coal dust. I've got tricalcium phosphate and coal and cobalt and lepidolite and lithium, and uranium and thorium and vanadium and cadmium, lazurite and lapis. I've got a lead-lined box pair here to create decayed radium, because you need radium for radium gas, and When I store things, I don't want to have to think about it again. So I've got 64 radium gas, so I could make a bunch of quantum enderized, I believe, if I needed to. But this is like, I didn't even know how much was going to be made here. I just knew that, those things were needed. This is kind of an overflow area for red and yellow garnets because I don't really need those. And I didn't have the desire to store a bunch of them in super chests. This is where emeralds are processed out. Firestone needs to be processed separately because firestone creates fires, and I don't need that. Lead can be made into a lot of silver, so I try to process that separately because there's no mercury processing here. Mercury processing happens at the main base. This is kind of the overflow area. And then the plans going forward. Need that sleeping bag. Apparently turned on gliding, but that's fine. The plans going forward are basically centered on bees. And I've got lots of bees. I don't have bees automated processing because automatically processing the products from bees takes a lot of energy is what I've figured out. I've got a full emerald upgraded. Let's take care of that. I didn't think it was full yet. But I do have another upgrade. I don't remember what I made this upgrade for, but this is a perfectly valid use for it. So I've got 260,000 titanium combs. This probably should be replaced with a super chest. I don't think I've got a super chest on me. So that's not going to happen. But I've got lots of titanium bees. I've got lots of titanium combs. The extra stuff is sent into the garbage can except for titanium combs are stored because I don't want to get rid of them. In addition to the titanium bees, when I needed platinum for TPV coils, I did some limited platinum bee processing here. I think this is probably full too. Yeah, it is. And that's fine. I'm not too concerned about platinum, and I don't have the desire to do platinum processing right now. But I do have like baby's first itty bitty platinum processing, so I can have some platinum dust. Looks like I've got 2.25 stacks of platinum dust and some calcium chloride. I thought this had backed up for some reason. Maybe I just ran out of calcium whatever here. I don't remember exactly. Looks like just needs calcium dust and this could maybe start working again. I don't know. Not a concern. I just, stored the extra stuff. I've got lots of platinum salt dust from when I made reciprocated platinum dust and its extra components. I just stored the extra, the palladium enriched ammonia I stored, the nitrogen dioxide I stored, and the dilute sulfuric acid. All of this should be processed in a more meaningful way, but in essence, I needed some platinum to do TPV coils, so I set up this little tiny setup just to do that. I powered it off of the same line that I created over here. This was initially just I need some oil, so I got some oil here. I think I was thinking about doing epoxied processing automation. I have not finished that ever, but I did do the oil processing here, and I did set up where I've got fuel. None of these are really used except for the naphtha, I think. I would have to verify. Oh, there's a wire over my head. Yeah, I'm using naphtha to power this energy for platinum processing, essentially. Yeah, there's no power lines going over to the um, multi-megas for the sulfuric acid for the ore processing upstairs. So this area over here was built, purpose-built for ore processing, and then I utilized the space because I wanted some oil processing over here. Then I expanded on that oil processing to power some more, um, essentially gas turbines to power a little tiny platinum line, as well as nitric acid. And then when I needed bricks for a building, I put some more bees to work. These clay bees, they're making clay balls, which then are made into clay bricks and stored as bricks. I also have a little bit of beeswax and a little bit of honey drops on top of that. So that's that automation over here. I've got other things automated. We'll look at the single blocks first. We've got... essentially, this is using up the trees, saplings, to make something useful out of them because I didn't want to waste them. Saplings go in, and brick dust is then used to make aluminum and raw silicon and oxygen. So the oxygen is stored somewhere, maybe? I would think there'd be oxygen storage here, but maybe I'm just throwing it all away. I don't remember. That's the problem with old automations. I don't know what I did. That's kind of funny. I might just be tossing all that oxygen. Yeah, there's a fluid trash can, and it looks like the fluid output's going that way. So I should put an oxygen super tank here and keep the oxygen. But by the same token, I'm also making oxygen here. I'm also making oxygen here. And was there an oxygen tank here too? I think this one may be the one that doesn't have an oxygen tank. So I've got two completely full oxygen super tanks otherwise, so that oxygen is not really being used. So it's just being wasted. This line is for turning the glowing earth coral into mercury, into glowstone, and into gold and redstone. So all of that glowing earth coral is converted through some of these single blocks into those automated resources. On the opposite side, we've got processing for fluorine, as well as this is where the black granite dust is being utilized to make, well, in addition to oxygen and fluorine, I think, let's see here, let's look at this from like oldest to newest. So the ashes are converted from power usage to the various ash components. Charcoal is needed for that as well, so that's part of making benzene. We've got a whole bunch of ashes that are stored up, so I'm probably throwing ashes away. Then we looked at the aluminum and silicon production here. So we've got aluminum and silicon. Then we've got the redstone and gold, and also ruby that's coming from the glowing earth coral. Why is there pyrite here? I think pyrite's from another part of the line, but that's strange. The glowstone. So this black silicon or black granite is making solar grade silicon. It's making alumina. It's making magnesium. It's making. I don't think it's making the potassium. I think this is the next. I think these are the next automation. So then the next automation after that uses salty root. And I think it does very limited processing on the salty root. I think we're just converting the salty root into... Well, this is more black granite dust processing. I think that might be the solar grade silicon processing I just looked at. So the salty root must be over here? No, that's netherrack. I'm not real sure where the salty root processing is going on. It's a very small processing because it's just turning the salty roots into the components of, you know, salt, saltpeter, and rock salt. The rock salt's being made into potassium, and then the netherrack is being turned into pyrite, sulfur, coal. I think calcium is probably coming from processing quicklime. And then I've got a little process that makes obsidian as well. But that's all these multi-blocks up here, or single blocks up here. This is making concrete, because I wanted some concrete once upon a time to make a big building. I've got just over 1.6 million concrete blocks. I've got a little farming going that's automatically making me ender pearls. Because I just thought of it, I should probably stock up my passive anchors. I need to set this up on an automatic line, but I rarely have to do this, so I don't worry about creating an automatic line because there are things that are higher priority for me. And I'll get to it eventually because, you know, higher priorities are what you work on, not the lower priorities. It was a priority to have chunk loading. It's never been a priority to automate the chunk loaders because a single hopper into a chunk loader will last for like a week. But I've got the lava and the water next to a rock breaker, which is creating most of the components for this concrete. There's a few other things needed. It looks like clay balls are coming from... I think this line over here is making the clay balls, and then coal dust is needed for something. I don't remember what, for making concrete. Oh, it's for making carbon. What is carbon used for? Okay, so calcium and carbon are being used to make calcite. Okay, so there you go. The carbon from the charcoal dust is being used also in the concrete. We already looked at the bees making bricks. That was really simple. This is just a little painting station for painting glowstone, because a lot of this build was just made with painted glowstone. You can't see the mossy bricks are painted glowstone, but if I pick it up, you can see that that's a painted glowstone. That's how light's provided here. Going downstairs, there's some more complex automations. Of course, we need power, so we're creating power with the pyrolyze oven, making the charcoal and the various components for benzene. Benzene production happens primarily here. So I've got the fluid extractors, I've got the distilleries, and the various lines that are needed to pipe in benzene and oxygen into my solid oxide fuel cells. These were my first two. This is a little less refined of a design. Instead of having one input for both machines, I've got two inputs. Instead of having one output for all of the steam, it's going, from this output and that output are going into the same steam turbine. I needed really, really fast pipes, so I just used some Nether Star because I needed Nether Star pipes for something else. So I had them sitting around. Then the power is stored in these pair of battery buffers, and these battery buffers control whether or not these machines are running. The pyrolyzed oven that's making all the charcoal for me, of which there's multiple buffers, because when you're buffering charcoal, it's kind of a pain in the neck. I also still have some old remnants of my advanced coke ovens. These create a lot more pollution, so they're generally not used. But in the event that we use a lot of power, sometimes those kick on as well. All that being said, the liquid I'm extracting out of this coke oven is actually wood gas in order to make ethylene. This is a tiny little processing line to make that ethylene. The ethylene is sent over and created into PVC and polyethylene. So this is my automated polyethylene. It looks like it needs more oxygen to continue processing. And my automated polyvinyl chloride. Chlorine's full. Oxygen is not full. So if there's still oxygen in the tank, why isn't it? Okay, so it needs more cells. Luckily, I have automatic cell creation. I didn't realize this was stuck on cells. Where is the component that makes ethylene cells? I think it's here. Empty cells go in, ethylene cells come out. So my polyethylene was not working because I backed up on not cells. But this is a good time to refill oxygen, so that's what I'll do. I never automated creating oxygen downstairs because there was just so much oxygen up here. I never automated the transfer of oxygen from above to below because it's just something I rarely have to do. And if it's something I rarely have to do, I generally just leave it alone. Hi Tay, how's it going? Let's see here. Got 8 minutes left on lunch break, so Spain here. Thank you. Techno Magic Babble. Well, this is just techno. The Magic Babble happens somewhere else. We can look at the Magic Babble in a minute. Right now, I'm just moving oxygen from upstairs to downstairs, essentially. Because upstairs has extra oxygen, because oxygen's created here through various processes. And oxygen is used down here in different processes. So it's not too bad. We've just got some automations. But thanks for stopping by, Tay. How are you doing? I hope your day is going well. We were talking about ethylene, polyethylene, polyvinyl chloride. And then I've got, this is where my obsidian is being made. Redstone goes in, lava on one side, water on the other side makes obsidian. And then this is, a little bit of this is components, is automation for this pyrolyzed oven to have nitrogen. And a majority of this is for polytetrafluoroethylene, or PTFE or Teflon. But chlorine, various components are used to make the PTFE, the Teflon. And then I've got it set up so that I've got a super tank of PTFE, I've got some polytetrafluoroethylene sheets if I need them, and then I've got an automatic cell maker because the polytetrafluoroethylene sheets become the empty cells really easily. I think you get 4 to 1, but I'm not certain on that. This pyrolyzed oven I'm using to make charcoal byproducts. Those charcoal byproducts are used to make dimethylbenzene. Dimethylbenzene, I don't recall exactly how this is used to make the material to break down bees, but I know that it's used for that. You're surviving. There have been some kind tippers today, so that's been a relief. I do really hope that you get lots of tips today, Tay. That would be awesome. You saw how important oxygen in the movie Martian. Yeah, oxygen is really important for people and other things. In addition to the dimethylbenzene and the PTFE, the Teflon, and the obsidian here, this line, I think I mentioned this already, is making the nitrogen for the pyrolyzed oven over there. Once again, we have excess oxygen. Maybe I should have just moved the oxygen from there to there. Maybe I should move it automatically that way. And then the final automation here has been to create steel products from the iron that's being stored here. It's made into iron ingots. I'm not actually storing these iron ingots because I want this process to back up. I've got automatically made steel screws, steel rods, and steel ingots. This was all made so that I would be able to make faster catwalks and steel blocks for my building. Over to that building. This is my latest building, and it looks really, really nice with shaders on, and I can show that off if people are interested. But I've got the lighting is provided by Platinum. Yeah, still Building of Doom. Inside of these columns is a block of steel going from bedrock to the roof, essentially. So this building uses a lot of blocks of steel. We can actually look at the number if I look at Tower V1. We'll load that up, and we will turn it off so it's not in our face. But we'll look at the materials, and it uses somewhere in here. It's got 6,900 steel frame boxes. It's got 5,800 catwalks of one variety and 2,200 of the other variety. And it's got 622 blocks of steel. That's all steel stuff. We'll unload this from memory. But there's a lot of steel in this building. The roof is made out of black granite. The floors for the penthouse are made with marble. All of the main stuff from the sky base are going to be moved into this area at some point. So I'm going to have storage here, probably applied energistics. I'm going to have all of the machines that I utilize for handcrafting type stuff here. And then I'm going to do automatic crafting with bees underneath. The lighting is provided through Impossible, Platinum, block of Platinum Impossible objects. So there's actually like 2 blocks of platinum in each of these lights. They're surrounded in quartz just to make them look nice. I really wanted to make this tower look nice. Downstairs, this is where all the bees are going to live, on this floor for my processing lines. The columns are even thicker down here because they're supporting the heavy ceiling. The bees have a pretty well lit area. There are going to be some bigger lights installed before the bees are installed. I haven't set up those yet, but I'm going to before I put the bees in. And then I've got my areas where I can just observe what's going on down below, where all the bees are going to be. If you look with night vision on, you can actually see the various hexagonal shapes in the floor because this is kind of a beehive mentality. This center area is probably going to be remained empty, and then these outer 8 chunks are going to be loaded with a chunk loader and have my bees processing here. All right, later stay. Have a great time. Sorry you have to go. Have fun. Once again, I can show you this with shaders on. I would just have to change Minecraft essentially from this instance to a different instance. Not a big deal. It would just take time to load that up. But once again, the bees are going to be on this floor. Then I'm going to have various multi-block machines for processing bee products here. And then probably going to have applied energistics on this level. We'll turn back on night vision so we can see things. In addition to applied energistics on this level, there'll probably be a variety of auto crafting machines. This next level, I'm hoping to have high octane gasoline processing set up here and automated, and various things going here. I don't know what's going to go on the bottom floor, the first floor of the building. I don't have any plans for it. Likely it'll be more auto processing. And we're on ads. And then the lowest floor is the basement, where you can really actually see the hives quite well. The hive structures. The basement is the lowest area, and I've actually got all the various high octane gasoline processes figured out. So, for example, heavy oil, we need hydrochloric acid to be added in, but the oil bees make oil combs and some other stuff, which I'm probably just going to toss. The oil combs and the hydrochloric acid and a large chemical reactor make purified oil sands ore, and so forth and so forth. When we need hydrogen, this is how hydrogen will be created after it's started. You know, the initial hydrogen will have to be provided from somewhere else. Hydrochloric acid from force bees and hydrogen. Lubricant from heavy oil. Phosphoric acid from phosphoric bee and other things that needs oxygen and water. We'll need steam, so steam with water, of course. I just, laid it all out. High octane gasoline needs nitric oxide, so that'll be made in some machines. We'll need some methanol. We're going to use a algae farm and a basic assembler and a basic fluid extractor to make the methanol. We have the heavy oil cracking line where we're going to need steam and all the various components, including hydrogen, will be used to crack the fuels and make the lighter fuels. There's a whole bunch of hydrocarbons that are going to be created in this, and I'm just not even worried about it. But the ones I do care about, the severely cracked, steam cracked heavy fuel makes a bunch of stuff. The moderately steam cracked heavy fuel makes a bunch of stuff. This is basically the blueprints for the high octane gasoline line, and the lightly hydrocracked light fuel. And then there'll be I'm not sure how to pronounce these words, but another hydrocarbon that's cracked with hydrogen to make a further hydrocarbon to make butene. And then the final steps will be the propene, benzene, phosphoric acid, and oxygen makes acetone. The methanol and butene makes the MTBE reaction mixture. That mixture makes the anti-knock agent. You make the raw gasoline, and then we mix in other stuff to make the gasoline, and then we mix in further to make the high octane gasoline, and so forth and so forth. And so I've just laid out the processing line in a way that's my brain can process it in little pieces. There's one line, there's another line, there's a third line, and a fourth line, a fifth line, and a sixth line. These are just going to be little groups of machines that all work together in order to make the high octane gasoline, which is going to be the fuel for this building essentially, to do all of applied energistics, to do all that auto crafting I was previously talking about. And also provide power for my main base area. Nobody has expressed interest in seeing this with shaders, so I'll just assume that it's not a big deal. And we'll go to the final building. That is my village, essentially. So once upon a time there was a village here, and of course, villages in New Horizons are very dangerous. So I made a safer building for them. We'll go to the lowest floor, because that was where we started. So we've got these little apartment cells where they can live. Somewhere in here there's going to be a bunch of villagers just hanging out in their little areas. You can hear them. They've just got little apartments with chairs and beds and a little sink and a cabinet, and I don't think I put anything in their cabinets, but they've got a bookshelf. You know, basically everything a villager would need to have a reasonably nice life, and it's all encased and it's all well lit. You can see the ceiling panels that are well lit. We've got a whole bunch of these. Here's a second row of them, and a third row, and a fourth row, and you know, villagers sticking their arms through the wall because villagers got a village. Villagers sticking their weapons through walls. I'm not sure what we're looking at here, but it looks like a pair of villagers that are just hanging out and, you know, pushing their body through the walls because, you know, that's what villagers do. Silly villagers. The second floor, I made some farms for them. At one point, I thought I was going to use glow flower to light things up extensively. Made a full-on vault. Yeah, it's a villager vault. I think of it as a villager stronghold. Somewhere around here, you know, we've got villagers just hanging out in the fields. But I've got the trading post where I can convert various materials into emeralds, or emeralds into various materials, and gold coins into various materials. I locked out this thaumium trade, and I know how to get more villagers. I just don't really need them. I just wanted to protect them mostly, because in New Horizons, if your villagers are not protected, they tend to die very, very rapidly. In fact, they kill themselves if they're not killed by anything else, because doors drive villagers crazy in this version of Minecraft, I'm pretty sure. You'll note that for villagers' protections, none of their apartments have a single door. Hi, Cass. How you doing? Hi, Sean. How are you? How's it going? And Little Blue Turtle, hello. How's it going? Glad to see you're all here. I'm showing off my villager stronghold. Automod, leave tempers alone. That's fine. Yes, villagers in this Minecraft version have an unhealthy problem with doors. If you have doors, they will try to sort out a village, and then they'll cause problems, and there's breeding. Where breeding villagers in this version of Minecraft is much safer with a mysterious arrow. How long does it take to complete Gregtech New Horizons again? Until you're done, really. The honest answer is I don't know. A long time is what I assume. I've heard numbers from years worth of work, so like 2,000 hours, all the way up to 10,000 hours. I haven't done any research on, you know, the general way of playing Gregtech New Horizons, because I want to sort things out on my own for the most part. I did read some stuff on bees because bees were very confusing. I have read some stuff on Thaumcraft because Thaumcraft killed me when I tried to build a component. Um, when things go poorly, I do a little bit of research, but I generally don't read or watch outside of where I'm currently playing. So, like, for example, if somebody is in HV, I will probably not watch their streams. I will probably do less with that streamer than if we've got a streamer who's in LV because I'm done with LV. Uh, for for me, Cass, I'm sure that 10 years is a reasonable expectation for how long it'll take for me to be completely done. I made a huge tower with an unreasonable number of blocks in it that goes from bedrock to Y140 across a 5 chunk area because I wanted something that looks nice for my next base. And I finally had all the materials to do it. I made this place to keep villagers safe when I could just put them in a chest inside of golden lassos. If I really wanted to keep them safe and not have to, you know, challenge myself. But I wanted them to have a nice place to live. So they've got a nice place to live. I've got them potatoes. I've got them carrots. I've got them wheat. Uh, I I kind of imagine that they're able to use these things. Of course, villagers won't use these things. They just kind of survive on their own. But I imagine that they use these things and they're here farming and whatnot to do their own stuff. On this level, we've got the various animal husbandry things for the villagers. I think additional mobs are spawning here because every time I show up, there's more of them, it feels like. But on this level, I've got ceiling lamps. I've got grass along the outside so that if the sheep decide to actually eat all the grass, there will still be grass to grow back in. Um, yes, I have made a structured base with steel beams that are hidden because if you don't hide steel in the real world, it will rust, and rusted steel is not useful. So all of my steel is safely stored behind things like stone, essentially. I don't know who this guy is. Is this a farmer? Yep, we have a farmer actually in the fields. So this thematically makes sense, and it's possible that I may have taken him in the golden lasso and popped him out of the golden lasso by pushing him against the roof, and he fell into the fields. I don't know. For the most part, the villagers have difficulty stomping on the fields because there's nowhere for them to jump, and jump into the fields. So that's good. Like I said, we've got their animals. It looks like mostly sheep and a few pigs. I think there are more sheep spawning here regularly. I think the pigs are from somewhere else. Then we've got their dining hall, which actually took me quite a while to do. And I'm going to use the flight potion to show it off. Because this is the most recent addition to the villager stronghold, is this dining hall. The dining hall looks really nice with shaders on as well. Let's see here. The building would fall down. Yes, it would. Knowing me, at this point, he would have the steel randomly rust and have the building fall down. If it was trying to be thematically accurate and the steel wasn't protected, that would make perfect sense, Tempers. I don't think I like that idea at all. I think I would do things to prevent that. At some point, I'm hoping to have enough villagers that they're actually up here and utilizing the dining hall. Of course, they're villagers and they're going to do villager things instead. I have given them a small kitchen to work in to make their meals so they can take the animals and the crops from the fields and they can make their food. I've stocked their cooking stuff with utensils. I have not stocked them with food. I'm thinking about farming up some food and filling up their cabinets with food. By that same token, it seems like just a waste of time because they have food that's grown for them, so they could have the food if they cared. I like to imagine that they're using it, but by the same token, it really doesn't matter. Let's get my sleeping bag, not the carbon. Let's have a bite to eat. I don't use the healing axe because I'm weird. The Wait, no, not love. The lab for drug testing villagers. Where do bad villagers go? I don't know where bad villagers go. I'm not in charge of crime. We have guards for that. If we go down to the villagers and we find some active ones. Yeah, where's... There we go. They have their own cops. They have their own guards. Um, Apparently this guard's been in a fight. I don't know. I told you that Gregtech is not nice to villagers. My guess is this guy got into a fight with a skeleton or a zombie and he survived by the luck of his teeth. I don't know. But as far as policing villagers, that's completely not me. That's the guards. They have their own stuff. The dark side of the villager stronghold, wherever they want to put it. If they want a dark side, they have their own stuff. I'm not in charge of the villagers. They're in charge of themselves. Here's the outside of the villager stronghold. It's kind of boring. The exciting stuff happens on the inside. Someday I might actually build up a nice facade on this. Sean, Kaz, did you guys want to see the tower that I've been working on for a while? It's not that far away, and it's a little big. It's only 5x5 chunks and made out of unspawnable materials. Yeah, this has been the hour of base tour at this point. The roof is all skylighted because I like natural light. At night, I've got the... I want to say it right, so I'm going to look at it. Block of platinum impossible objects. So each one of those is unstable ingots times 9, as well as 2 blocks of platinum, roughly. A little over 2 blocks, 2.5 blocks of platinum, something like that. If we want to see the tower with shaders on, I can do that. It looks really nice. I've replaced the grass with Botania's golden grass, which doesn't really look like grass, but it says grass, so it is grass. Each one is how many deaths? 0 deaths. Well, not the platinum ones. The iron one killed me. When I made the iron impossible object, block of iron impossible object, I died to that one, but the rest of them haven't killed me. This killed me, making it, but then I figured out how to do it right, and the rest of the platinum objects have been very safe. There are 16 of them. It was like 5 stacks of platinum, if I remember correctly. Let's look at them. Impossible object. So it takes 2 blocks of slabs and then a half block of covers, roughly. No, that's a quarter block. And then a full block of unstable ingots. I knew one gotcha. Oh, there you go. Good job. This is the tower. This is my next home. This is the nicest home I've made. I didn't make it until I had the clay bees to make the bricks and the various automated processes to make the steel, because each one of these columns is blocks of steel all the way down to bedrock. And then there's lots and lots of stone, lots and lots of concrete, and lots of bricks. The why? Okay. The insides of these concrete areas are... Let's see if we can look at one that's cut away. Yep, here's one that's cut away. The inside of these have steel frame blocks inside of them as like side supports, you know, for the concrete supports to support the floor. Inside of these little floor ceiling, whatever one you want to think of. These little warts is where I've got the chandeliers to prevent spawn on the elevator blocks, and so forth and so forth. And then if we go to the bottommost floor, you can see the lighting I've got set up. That's going to be the lighting throughout the base. It looks like this, and it projects a light area on the floor. The basement, I really fell in love with this build when the basement was completed. The basement looks amazing, and in fact, I'm going to just go over to the other instance here and pull up this in. Let's see here. Let's see how this works. If I bring this over here, and I minimize this, and I maximize that, and I go in with shaders, each level is 20 high. With the floor being like 4-ish thick, it's going to be like 16 high roughly, but yeah, each floor overall is 20 tall. So this is the basement with shaders on. I think it looks amazing. There are no lights down here outside of the lights on the catwalks. I have spent a bunch of time sorting out the various processes to make high octane gasoline. The bees here are going to be making my high octane gasoline. So start with nothing, add bees, add water from the, oh, what are they called? I can go look at them in a minute. Do I have one in my inventory maybe? Our survey says no. But there's a little Thaumcraft item that makes water endlessly, and it's a nice little guy. Yeah, I don't like shaders a lot of the time either because light sources are over spammed and they look horrible. When you limit the number of light sources, shaders look incredible. And I had no idea until I built this how good this was going to look. In fact, I think it was this view right here that made me go, oh my god. I can't believe how good of a building I'm looking at. Because it's like, wow. You know, not very many blocks at all. We've got concrete, we've got these catwalks, we've got the lights for the catwalks, the rope lights, and we've got the catwalk supports. And it just looks crazy good. But this is the basement. I've got a little bit of storage down here because of extra items that were used in construction. More grass, more of the stone bricks, which I think of them as gravel. If we go up a floor, once the game loads in, because the shaders basically break Gregtech, I'm kind of impressed at the fact that I'm still getting 60 frames a second. It must be because I'm completely enclosed, because I've seen that frame rate number drop to like 1 before. So that's really lucky. But these rooms look really, really, really cool with the shaders enabled, with that, you know, that singular light source showing light down here. Of course, you go up a floor, we add some windows. These are the only windows that will fit on the exterior of the building because of the way the land is scaped. This is just another floor. This floor has no windows. This floor has a pair of windows. This floor has a lot of windows comparatively, but not a full set because, once again, this area over here is still underground. This side is above ground. Over here, you've got where the hillside is blocking off the windows still. But utilizing little light, these look really, really nice. Now we're finally to the floor where there's lots and lots and lots of windows. And the sunlight actually filters in. Where the trees are excluding the sunlight, you've got very little sunlight coming in. Where there's a direct path to the sunlight, you've got lots of sunlight coming in. And then you've got that iron impossible object just glowing like mad. showing basically a mess. But I really like the way this looks with shaders on. And when we go back to playing, instead of, the frame rates of essentially not really good, we'll go to the other instance where there's no shaders. This is the highest floor. This is the floor where the bees are going to be. And we have all the windows. Of course, the windows don't have glass in them because when I added glass to these windows, they looked like garbage. And without the glass, they look really good, in my opinion. Let's look at one with some light on it. Don't climb the various stuff. But I think these windows look really, really nice. They look like they're super clean when in fact there's no window there at all. And then there's those platinum impossible objects providing the ambience light for the ceiling. And once again, this is where the bees are going to be. There are a few glowstones, painted glowstones on this floor, just so I can see things. And then we've got the penthouse area where I've used marble and black granite, and that's the only building materials really, except for the railing around the outside. And we've got the skylights that show the world above, and the clouds that are seen through the shaders and through the skylights. And then I've got moon's dirt as the pillars for the exterior walls in quotes, because the penthouse really has no walls to speak of. It's just the walls are there to support the ceiling. The roof here has lots and lots of steel girders. It's really fun. No, not a thirsty tank. I hate thirsty tanks, and I won't use them. It's a different tank. It's a ever full urn, maybe? Why? Oh, burn. Yeah, these. I like the ever full urns. I don't like the thirsty tanks because they make a horrible noise over and over and over and over and over. Thank you, Sean. I put a lot of work into it, and I really like it. You can see where the shaders are, just failing to draw the world at all over there. Or where they're showing a light when there shouldn't be a light there. Not sure what that's about. Maybe there's lava over there. I don't know. Maybe there's lava down there. I'm not sure. But shaders don't work well in this pack at this point. Unless you're like inside and the game's had plenty of time to load up things and whatnot. So we're going to be exiting this, even though it is really, really cool to look at with shaders on. There's one more place that looks relatively good with shaders on, and I will fly over there and we'll look at the dining hall and we'll see if it's a reasonable experience while we're still in this instance. See how that goes. I have a 3070 Ti Super, which is not a 4070 Ti Super, which I think in performance is very similar to yours. And I have a 13900 KF. I'm actually impressed at how well the shaders are doing right now. I guess just because I've been sitting in these chunks for so long that they're doing all right. But they look absolutely gorgeous, if you ask me, given the right conditions. Because if you put too much light down, it just swamps out everything, looks horrible. But I didn't give up on shaders. I kept trying, and they work pretty well. I don't generally play with them on. Let's glide over to the villager stronghold. And this is the slideshow you get when it's loading in stuff. But once you go into a limited area, This is what the kitchen looks like with the shaders on. It's pretty well lit as far as I'm concerned. A lot of the time people have lights on the floor, and that causes more problems than it's worth, I think. Of course, this area I haven't been in as long, so it's kind of breaking. We'll take another swig of potion to get some more flight, so we can look at things with the shaders on. I'm not sure why I'm stuck, but this is what the dining hall looks like with the shaders on. I really like it. I think it's fun. It's not as nice as the tower, but I'm not sure the villagers deserve as good of a tower as the bees get. Because the bees are going to do a lot of work for me, where the villagers are doing essentially nothing for me. I've done a little bit of trading with them, but nothing major. And then if you go to the area where I've actually got lights set up, it starts to look like a mess. Because the shaders are just swamped out. Like the glow flowers just, I mean, what am I looking at? It's awful. If I go into their areas, it's almost as awful. And this is because I've got too much lighting under the floor, essentially. In order to light things up and keep things safe, I've got lights under the floor in various places. And it just, I mean, the shaders look awful when you light up for general Minecraft stuff inexpensively. The shaders look less awful when you do reasonable lighting. This still may be overkill, but it's, you know, comparatively reasonable. And it looks really well, like on the tower, for example, when you do lots less lighting. And we'll go back to the other one. Let's turn off the shaders. Minecraft. Let's go into the normal one. Go back into the world. And we'll get started back up on the quests I was... that was wrong. This is not the instance I want. Let's try this one. There we go. Okay, good. No shaders required. We were working on the MV quests, and that's what we'll get back to. And yes, this base looks awful with shaders. It's unfortunate. But it wasn't built with shaders in mind, essentially. So that's why it looks awful. Or at least my guess is that's the why and the how of it. I'm not a pro Minecraft player, so I don't really know what I'm talking about, probably. Alright, we were working on making more methane. I think we left that over here. And yes. Okay, what's going on here? What's going on is I didn't grab enough hydrogen. Got it. More hydrogen. And then I will use a super tank I've got to get the methane into cells. The not real rain is a artifact of Thaumcraft. It's kind of scary, but by the same token, Thaumcraft is kind of weird. back over here. Alright, that should be enough methane, I hope. Get myself another loot bag. Put the loot bag in my inventory. Put this methane that we needed for the quests back into our aluminum cells. Put the regular cells away. Put the methane cells away. And look at the next quest. Ethanol cells. Ethanol can be used to make biodiesel and other fuels. I'm sure I had this at one point. I don't remember. I know I've got a lot of biodiesel for whatever reason. Do I have ethanol anywhere? Probably not. Okay, how does one make ethanol? Ethylene and steam. Well, that's easy. Does that work in a regular chemical reactor? It does. Okay. 36 cells, huh? No problem. I've got ethylene on automatic. So this is just going to be a go pick it up and combine it with some steam. I have no idea if this is a reasonable way of making ethylene for, excuse me, of making ethane? What is it? Ethanol for consumption. But by the same token, I'm doing it for a quest, not to make power. The base does look kind of fun, even without shaders, as you fly overboard. Alright. So, how much steam will I need? 36 times 2, 72, right? Yep. So, that's this and 8 more. And over to the chemical plant. And ethylene goes in as a cell. Needs the number 24. And it needs plenty of steam. I'm glad a macerator can't eat a pick. Yeah, I'm going to leave this automated setup. How long have we got? 20 seconds per craft. 34 crafts remain. So 6 per minute. That's 5 minutes and a half. So 5.5 minutes we can go to the next thing. The next thing, simple item translocators. Okay. We need to make one of those. So, ender pearl, red alloy, brass, aluminum. What is brass? I don't remember making brass before. Well, let's go look and see if I just don't remember it. Could I have it? Because if I have it, then this is less work. I do have it. Brass is something you just have. Aluminum frames is 2 aluminum. And red alloy plates. I've got red alloy in my compressed chest. So that's 2, yep. 2 ingots worth. So I think uses for this, I think if I just put it into a smelter, this will work, but I'm wrong. I'm going to need to put it into a fluid extractor. Okay. So ingot mold, fluid extract, ingots. I need normal item pipe for the brass. I need the casings for the aluminum. Do all this in the extruder, because the extruder saves materials. I've never used these brass item pipes because I don't care for the item pipes at all in Gregtech. They just irritate me to no end. Those ingots should be made. Turn those into red alloy plates. Alright, Sean's saying something. Yeah, somehow I did most of the MV quests in LV, so all I really got to do is build the machines and claim the quests. The only thing is the Ender IO stuff, and I'm in HV. Nice! And the solar grade silicon. Do you want me to show you my solar grade silicon automation, Sean, or do you want to figure it out yourself? Because I'm happy to show it to you, but I understand people wanting to figure things out themselves. If the item pipes had item shutters, they would rock. Yeah, they would. Absolutely. In fact, they probably try to rock either way. Need an ender pearl. I have a few of those. And then we can make this item translocator and probably immediately... Nope. What am I missing? Ah! I made 1 pipe, I need 2. Ay, ay, ay. Whoops. Okay. Item translocators are a pretty cool item. Those can go in here and sit there. Then let's look at the next quest. Yep, I have those. I've been actually using them for various means. Okay. Let's go look at the ethanol. Okay, yeah, I completely understand when to figure things out on your own. That's pretty much what I do for the most part. So we've still got a while on the ethanol. So we'll just let that continue processing. What's next? Looks like whatever this is. Now that you have an MV electrolyzer, you can extract boron from borax. The element is used later for borosilicate glass and fiber, but for now you can use it to make some volumetric flasks to hold precise amounts. This is handy for recipes that may only need a tiny amount of a substance like 1 liter. That is silly. But silly is fine. I've been making borosilicate glass. Where have I been storing it? Probably with all the other various dusts. Woohoo! I needed borosilicate glass in order to make the quartz less expensive. Hey system, how are you? Nice to see you. I want to thank System for helping me figure out this tower that I built and that you guys seem to like. So I'm going to do this. System's a good guy. If you're not following him, I really ask that you do. He is a fantastic Minecrafter, and I really appreciate all of his help. How you doing, System? Glad to see you're here. You've done GT5, so you have an idea. All the GT++ stuff is new, and you want to experience the mod firsthand in the pack. This is your first playthrough. This is also my first playthrough of Gregtech. This is my only playthrough, really. I've played around with System a little bit on a server that he plays on to goof off and stand there and hold a shovel while he does all the hard work. But System's a really good guy, and he's helped me quite a bit for purposes of making that tower that I think looks amazing. Were you here for the show off of the tower, System? Do you want me to run back over there and show it off some more? How do I extract the fluid out of this? Can it just be the dust? It can be the dust. Okay. So this in here. Didn't want a borosilicate glass bar. And then I need the ball mold. Okay. When you're done pushing mats. I'm just trying to work on quests because the MV quests are the next step. The tower looks good at night, so we can just go there now. Jump, not run into wall. Get the potion of flight. So this is it at night. The roof is all skylights made out of that quartz and black granite. So it's quite dark at night. The block of platinum impossible objects give a really good ambiance, I think, as the sun's coming up. The exterior, I think, looks amazing. This side is the tall side. Here we have the shorter and even shorter sides. I didn't even know there was lava there until just now. That's fun. I built this entire tower and I didn't see that lava. Or if I saw it, I completely ignored it. Somehow. I like the windows on the top floor, the 5th floor. I added this little decorative trim at the one point because that's the bees level, and I wanted to give the bees like a perch they could land on and rest on if they were out in the world and they were coming back. I did an even bigger decorative area here to break up the difference between the moon dirt and the bricks, because when they were just side by side, they looked kind of awful. With the trim, they look a little bit better, I think. There's still a pretty jarring change between the two. The good news is when you're in the penthouse, you don't really see that jarring change. The penthouse floors are all made of marble and granite and the fused quartz. The walls, quote unquote, are moon dirt. And I may replace this with the moonstone at some point once I've gone to the moon. I have not yet gone to the moon, so that's not a priority. Going to the moon is also not a priority. I used forge microblocks to put a accent around the steel frame boxes that hold up the roof where they're at. So every one of these accented areas has steel underneath of it, except for the edge. The edge is just the roof accent to break up the line and make it look a little fancy. Yeah, I really, really like how it turned out, system. Do you want me to turn shaders back on and go back into this with shaders so you can see the various floors with shaders on? Or not a care, not a worry? Because shaders really are not great in Gregtech right now. Maybe they'll be great soon, but that'll mean upgrading my pack, which probably won't happen. So there probably won't be a thing. But looking at the tower from a little bit far away, it just looks fun. Hello, Geronimo. How are you? It's not quite a slideshow. If you start at the bottom, it seems to be okay. I think and I could be wrong. I think shaders actually get worse the more stuff they have to draw in. Let's give this a whirl. I like showing things off. This is my favorite thing to show off, so I'm going to try. Let's put this on top again. Let's do multiplayer. And it's loading things in. So here we have the basement with shaders on. It has a just fantastic effect. I think that this works best because there is no major light sources down here, and so it just looks really, really, really good. What I'm learning, or what I suspect I'm learning, I should say, is that shaders don't care for extra lights. The more lights you have, the worse shaders look. With this just tiny bit of glow light from the ropes, it looks really nice. All these signs you see about are my planned processes for my high octane gasoline. So, for example, heavy oil is made by combining bees with hydrochloric acid and then various processing machines, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth. Lubricant, phosphoric acid, steam's pretty simple, but I still added it as a add-on to the very end. Nitrous oxide, methanol, the heavy oil cracking, the various crackings of the unlisted hydrocarbons because there were just too many things to type out. Other cracking and distilling this unpronounceable hydrocarbon being made into butene, and then the last steps for making the high octane gasoline from all those other components. And then if we go to the next floor, this is the lowest floor of the tower. It's the only floor with working lights on it right now. This light is the only working light in the tower that's not an impossible object. And the shaders are breaking because the shaders do that. But it looks really, 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 really nice. And if I turn off the HUD, it actually looks better. The next floor, if the shaders catch up, with a few windows, looks pretty cool. Coming over here, you can actually see the light filtering through. And you can see the various hexagonal shapes on the floor where the towers, this being a bee tower, powered by bee automations and whatnot, where those hexagonal shapes for the beehives are at. Please, shaders, work. So the next floor up, there's some light filtering in through the sunlight. A little more light, more windows. The shaders are preventing me from walking because they're like that. I've got the iron impossible object that actually killed me in the manufacture of, because I had a unstable ingot explode. Because I basically panicked and couldn't get it out of my inventory and couldn't figure out what to do with it. And then we've got the more windows even on this floor. And then finally the bees floor, where we've got the platinum block of platinum impossible objects set into the ceiling to provide the ambient light for even the bees. Yes, the hottest of hot potatoes. And I need to get rid of these. I'll put those back in a minute. I thought there was a window shining here. So you can see the sun rays coming through the windows and showing up on the floor, and it just looks really, really cool on this floor. And then the penthouse looks downright amazing with shaders on, I think. I really, really like the penthouse. Yeah, shaders look amazing when there's not too much light. When you put too much light in, it just swamps out everything and looks horrible. But they're difficult to play with because they break things. And let's just look this direction. Yeah, good job, shaders. That's just how it's supposed to look. Yeah. Don't look at things with shaders on. Is the lesson I've learned. So we will turn back this on. We'll go replace these lights. These are here so I can see when there's no shaders loaded. And we'll go out of this one and back into the normal Minecraft. Maybe? But the tower looks amazing, and once again, I want to repeat this, and I will repeat this often. System, thank you so much for all your help on this tower. Not only the inspiration, but most of the design elements are either your ideas or very close to your ideas. So, this tower would have been impossible without you. Of course, it'd be impossible without me too, but people know that I built the tower. People don't know that you were highly involved in the design and how this has come together. It's fun standing on the roof and looking down at the grass on the ground. The grass that can spawn nothing. In fact, inside of these 5 chunks, there is nowhere that a mob could spawn, which I think is fun. System, is there anything else, or actually anyone, is there anything else that you want to see in practice, or should I head back to the... Okay, Sean says, okay, off to work. Thanks for the base tour. Now I get see in chat. I've got an idea what you've done. Yep. Have fun at work, Sean. Don't kick your... I was about to say something that was not appropriate, so let's try that again. Don't work too hard today. Have fun and take care. Should we head back to the MV quests, or is there anything else people want to see? I've got a absolutely ridiculous infusion crafting area. What am I going to do with these silly flasks? And why don't they stack? Gregtech, you're the best. Oh, yeah, absolutely. We can go look at Thom. My completely ridiculous Thomcraft setup. I'm going to stop by my main base and take a sleep because the Thomcraft area is absolutely, positively not safe at night. My first base has never become mob safe. My other areas are mostly mob safe. So the first part of Thaumcraft was, of course, the crucible in the ground with fire underneath of it and a nearby water tank. That setup's been upgraded over time. But if we move into my Thaumcraft areas, we've got the work table, the research table, the bookshelves, which make the research table better, your primal shrooms, your basic alchemistry setup with your furnaces and alembics, essentia buffers, my restorer, and I will fix my potion as we're here. The alchemical construct and the stuff that it's produced and maybe some of the components it needs. I've got my essentia files here stored. I've got my little tiny bits of essentia stored in crystallized form. I thought this was a lot more full than that. That's kind of silly. There's no reason to be using a drawer for that. I used to have a lot of fire essence in there. Hello, bat. You're about to have a really bad day. Or people will learn just how horrible I am at Minecraft. Maybe both. There we go. So this is... Okay, so we've got ads going. Hello, Yaski. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm just going to take a little break. Let's see here. Get the sleeping bag ready. Gonna put this on. Oh, what's safe? Safe is downstairs, I suppose. More bats. Okay, once these ads end, I will totally go back to reviewing the Thaumcraft area. It looks like we're back. I hope we're back. Okay. So, my first experience with Thaumcraft's Infusion Altar, Infusion Crafting, however you think about it. Let's see here. Thaumcraft. I really didn't know what I was doing at all. I had built all these other things, and I'd gone through these quests. And I got to this quest, and it says all these nice words. So I built these things, and I set them up in this room thinking, actually, the room was tiny, and it was just this little tiny space here with some pedestals around it, and I really had no idea what I was doing. And I tried to make a item. Maybe I can figure it out from the quest, what item I was trying to make. I don't know what I was trying to make. Mike is muted. Mike is muted. Why is Mike muted? I don't think my mic is muted. Let me see. Can I hear myself? Yeah, I can hear myself, ASCII. There must be something else going on. I don't think I ever muted my mic. Oh, sorry. You're not stupid. Mistakes are made. Once again, back to what I was saying. Oh, when I first built my infusion altar, I had the pedestals, I had the pillars, I had the runic matrix. It was in this tiny little area over here, probably like 7x7, and I tried to make something, and it was an utter failure, and it killed me. I don't remember what killed me. I don't remember what I was trying to make. I lost all the items. I lost all the essence. And I died. And I was upset. It was my first time dealing with Thaumcraft 4. I had done a little tiny bit of Thaumcraft. I want to say 6. But I don't know that. It's been a long time and I didn't really play that much with Thaumcraft. It was in a pack that had Abyssalcraft, I think, that I was trying to follow walkthroughs, and I just didn't have as much fun as I'm having with Gregtech, because one of the things with Gregtech I've done is I've just not really looked at walkthroughs, and I'm not looking at people playing that are ahead of me in the pack. I'm trying to watch people that are doing things that are kind of behind me in the pack, because I'm trying to figure out most of this stuff on my own. So with my experience of dying to this thing, I went and read the Gregtech stuff on Thaumcraft. I read the wiki for Thaumcraft 4, after trying and failing and not understanding what I was doing. And so then I went and got all of my materials, and I made a slightly overpowered or overbuilt or unnecessarily complicated infusion crafting area and crafting area. I used up all the skulls I had. I used up all the zombie heads I had. I used up a bunch of crafting materials. And I want to say this has got 172 stability. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm fairly certain I'm accurate. That is what my memory says. Can't place blocks, but that is what my memory says, and I think that's the accurate number. So my second go at infusion crafting worked perfectly, and I haven't had a problem since. And I've since learned that this was way overkill. But it's nice because I can craft whatever I want and not have to worry about stability, knocking things off pedestals, or creating flux, or whatever have you. It just kind of works. So that's Thaumcraft in a nutshell. Any questions or comments? Anything else you guys want to see? It's pretty much bedtime. Go back to doing MV quests. Maybe. Take the old way because I've completely forgotten about the new way. Why don't these stack? No. Can I unmake them? Yes. Excellent. They can be made into something else and be useful instead. That's great news. I'm gonna bet I get... Oh, you've got to be kidding me. What am I looking at? Well, you can't actually unmake them, but you can make them stack. So that's good news. Whatever. Once they're all stacked up, I'll put them in a chest and I'll ignore them. The ethanol. Well, hello, little fishy got harvested. He's so happy. Did you hear him, guys? How do I have disassembler? I have the disassembler because I'm still in 2.3.0. And I'm not going to upgrade. That being said, I may actually end up upgrading if something really, really, really big happens. But I don't expect that to happen. But I started in 2.3 and I'm going to continue in 2.3 until I finish. Yeah, I'm on 2.3.0. I started on 2.3.0 in, I want to say, August 23? Yeah, there are some big quality of life changes, and I've actually played some 2.4 on a public server, and I've played some 2.5.1 on a private server. But this world is going to be 2.3, and I'm just going to keep going this way. Hello, Brochacho. How are you? And yes, version locking is good for your sanity. You don't lose random things. Machines don't randomly change. Processes that you've set up still work. Your maps don't disappear. Your mind just... I mean, Thaumcraft messes with your mind in specific ways. But once you understand that, it's not like the game just fails to do something that you expect it to do. The game works the same way as it worked yesterday and the same way it works tomorrow. Oh no, I'm sorry you're having to reset up your ore processing a fourth time. More throughput's important. Are you interested in seeing what I've got set up for ore processing? The throughput on it is fantastic. Exactly, system. IRL warp. I think you're absolutely correct. You guys... Oh, you've changed version 3 times? I don't know. I can't imagine. You've got 32 Steam macerators. Brochacho, that is so much. I'm glad you haven't had any problems, Yasky. I remember upgrading a pack a long time ago and not liking the results and giving up on the pack for it. And I do not want to lose this pack for any reason. So I have an impractical number of backups. I have um, offline backups. I have no desire to change versions ever. It's a personal choice, and that's my choice. Brochacho, that is a big ore processing setup. Used to play on Zeta, the frequent upgrades were killer. The knack wine got added, and all I could think was, man, thank God I already have a knack stockpile already. I think that's beyond me, so I'm going to ask you to not talk about it because I'm trying not to know things before the game introduces me. It's actually why I haven't looked at the HV quests, and I didn't look at the MV quests until Thursday, because I wasn't at the point where everything else was in place for me to do those MV quests. I've, of course, if we look at my quest book, you'll see that I've done lots of these other quests just because I built machines out of them. But I built those machines without looking through the quest book, which guides you through the ages. And I'm trying to take the ages as like a stage for me. So right now I'm on the MV stage. I have EV machines because I wanted, for example, the ore drilling plant. So I made a whole bunch of stuff in order to have that, but I wasn't guided to it. I figured it out on my own. It's the same thing with the ability to summon meteors. I I summoned meteors before I went out of the MV stage, before I looked at the MV stage, because I wanted resources out of them. Specifically, I was looking for whatever it is you make components out of. I've got a bunch of it. Let's go look at the name. Tantalum. I wanted tantalum in a lot of tantalum, so I summoned an ore meteor just for tantalum. I've since learned you can actually duplicate tantalum, but I'm not worried about doing that. I would just summon another meteor if I wanted more tantalum. All right, more stuff to say. You still MV, John? I have to say I'm in EV because I have the ability to make EV machines, and people have given me. They basically said my understanding of things are wrong. Once you've got EV stuff, you're in EV. Even if I'm not being guided through EV, because that's the way I see it. The quest book guides you through the age you're in, and the age that I'm in is the MV age. So the quest book is guiding me through that and the things that I'm going to need in the future. And I want to finish the MV age before I build things like the NASA workbench, which is the only way to get to the moon, as far as I know. Don't tell me if there's another way. I don't want to know. I don't know if I have any EV hatches. Let me think. Maybe I have an EV energy hatch. It would be on the... If I have one, it's going to be over here. No. I think I could make one. I think I could make an EV energy hatch if I had to. But I'm just using HV for the... I'm using a EV turbine to power a high voltage transformer to power my most upgraded machine, which is this one, I think. I'm fairly certain that's accurate. Yeah. My highest level hatch is HV. I'm almost certain I could make an EV hatch if I had to. I just don't need to. Yeah. A new ore processing line was added in 2021, and you had to stock. Okay, cool. I'm glad you didn't have to make a whole nother processing line when you'd already built one. That sounds pretty bad. Um, yeah, I think Gregtech, I think the devs for New Horizons, they equally reward you for upgrading and punish you for upgrading, if I understand correctly. That could be wrong, but that's kind of the way I see it. I really should automate this ashes going from there to here, but I haven't because I'm lazy and it's easy to do it that way. I think I need to go pick up my ethanol. I think it's probably done. All right. Let's see here. I guess I could do 18 buckets in 2 cells. Let's go over here. And I don't actually know if they stack this way, but I think they will. Yeah. And just add this to methanol, methane, you know, those various things that I just kind of ignore. And MV quests. That quest is done. I want my loot bag. Put the loot bag away, and we'll then sleep. Put the coins away. And we'll take a gander at the next set of quests. Where should you toss screenshots when you get it all set up? You're welcome to Discord me. I'm on the... Let me verify this. I'm almost certain I'm on the Gregtech New Horizons official server. I don't have Discord, a private server for people to look at. I haven't done that. Yeah, I'm almost 100% certain that if you look for me on Discord on the Gregtech New Horizons server, you will find me. And I'd be happy to look at some screenshots if you want to show me your setup. If it's a whole bunch of spoilers, I'm gonna glance at it and then look away and not look at them until I'm to that point. I really am trying to not copy other people's setups or know what they're up to. So once someone's passed me, and people pass me all the time, I am not going fast, and I'm not trying to go fast. But once people pass me, I tend not to look at their stuff very much. But if you have some screenshots you want to share and there's no spoilers, I'm happy to look at your stuff. People make really cool stuff in New Horizons, and it is amazing. Um, right now, I am watching the Neurotic Goose series that he's doing in Garden of Grind. He's shown me some stuff that I think is just outright exploitive. But by the same token, you know, he's doing a Garden of Grind run, so pretty much everything's exploitive. And I think he's going to pass me real soon, or maybe he has passed me. So I'm probably going to, you know, put a pin in that and maybe watch those again in 6 or 8 months when I've gotten some real progress in here. All right, what's the next quest? Looks like the next quest going down is going to be vinyl chloride. Oh no, can I get 6 vinyl chloride cells? That's going to be so difficult. I have vinyl chloride on automatic if you don't know. So I'm just going to go over here and follow the sky, get down to that level, and pick it up. I had no idea this was a quest, but it's an easy quest for me. Did I do that wrong? Oh, vinyl chloride, not polyvinyl chloride. Oh, well. Let's fix that. Do. Okay. No problem. Alright. Vinyl chloride. Now I've got a bunch of vinyl chloride I don't know what to do with. Now I've got a bunch of cells that I need to stick in this one? I hope that's right. Alright. Pick that up. Pick that up. Put the wrench away. Put those away. And I need a loot bag. What else do I need to do? Ethanone. Acetic acid makes ethanone. You need it for stuff. So I need 3 sulfuric acid cells. That's not difficult. One of the things I've set up is automatic sulfuric acid processing because I needed sulfuric acid for sodium persulfate, I think. Acetic acid comes from, because this is vinegar, right? Okay, it comes from ethylene. I have ethylene. Yeah, let's just do it from ethylene. Ethylene is here. So we'll head back to the base and we'll convert those up to whatever object it wanted me to have. Ender IO is overpowered and I love it. The Staff of Traveling is an amazing thing as far as I'm concerned. Okay, we did that. We're on to this. This requires acetic acid and sulfuric acid. That. And we need how many? We need 3. And then I have the sulfuric acid. The acetic acid was ethylene and oxygen. So I'm going to need 6 oxygen. My automated oxygen's over here. And chemical reactors here. That's a bath. So 19. And the oxygen in cells. And the ethylene. Okay. Then on 1, sulfuric acid cells. As well as acetic acid. Not in cells, though. And if you're on somebody else's Discord server, so for example, System has a Discord server, Cozy Cat Games has a Discord server. Let's see here. Zayden has a Discord server. I'm on those. Zereth has a Discord server. I'm on all those servers. So if you want to share some screenshots on any of those and ping me, I'd be happy to look there as well. All right. 61 polyvinyl chloride cells. What on earth? Do this recipe twice if you want to clean out your reactor, or 3 times if you use the 8-second recipe. Okay. That makes sense, I'm sure. All right, that. I just don't care about my dilute sulfuric acid. I get enough of it that whatever. All right. PVC sheets. Okay. Let's get 61 cells. Let's go fill them with polyvinyl chloride. Let's do that. PVC can be made for pipes. You also want it for capacitors. Okay. What's next? Turn it into sheets. Fair enough. That's easy. I'm going to guess this is the fluid solidifier. It is the fluid solidifier. I guessed right. What do we have here? Anchor Sentinel. So, gold, obsidian, obsidium. And an ender pearl. Gold plates. Not chrome. Obsidian, I need 2. And other obsidian, I need 4. And then turn those into plates. I don't know if you guys know this, but the rolling machine is awful with obsidian plates, but the advanced extruder is amazing at it. So don't roll out your obsidian plates in the bending machine, or you'll be sitting there for a while. And I'm fairly certain that, yeah, I had PVC sitting here for use with SMDs, but I can just store it like that. That's fine. All right, let's make this next object. And then we can read about it. Sometimes you don't want a 3x3 chunk loaded, but a strong straight line. They can be handy for rail lines or power lines going across long distances. An anchor sentinel can perform the function. Right click on the chunk loader with a crowbar and it'll activate go any straight line from the chunk loader and place the anchor and hit it with a crowbar. These chunks up to 25 by 1 will now remain loaded. Right-click the chunk loader with a crowbar and it will activate. Go in a straight line. Okay. So the Anchor Sentinel learns the first chunk you're in when you hit it with a crowbar. And then you pick it up and take it somewhere else and hit it with a crowbar again. And then that area is loaded. They will take Ender Pearls / coins. If you want a one chunk area loaded, this will extend the time. Got it. Right. And I might use this for chunk loading before I get quantum tunneling set up in AE, in Applied Energistics. I've done that before in other packs, so I have a pretty good idea of what that works. I was planning on connecting my chunk loaded towers with Applied Energistics at some point. This might be an easy way to do it, where you just have it'd be a whole lot of item conduit, but it would work the same way. You just have to make sure that, well, no, item conduit would work fine. It just won't work as well as an Applied Energistics system would. But few things work as well as an Applied Energistics system, so that's not a big deal. All right, put these away. More coins to put away. At some point, I'm going to be full again. 192 hours in a passive chunk loader. Wow. That's a long time. Can these be like... No, they can't be. Wow. Can't be made, just a quest reward. Crazy long chunk loaders. We're down to here. I skipped this quest over here for improving conduits because I don't think making these particular filters are going to be easy or something I want to do on stream, since it's going to take a long time. Oh, seed oil. I knew seed oil was going to be a thing. So I have some seed oil. If you don't know, an easy way to automate seed oil is with pumpkins. I learned that on the Hive survival multiplayer server that Diddy is running and a whole bunch of other guys are playing on. All cool guys. I think I want to say it was Mystic or Goo that was like, if you want to have seed oil, you use pumpkins. So you take your pumpkins, you put them into a macerator, then the seeds come out, and you put the seeds into a fluid extractor, and the seed oil comes out. I have not automated the movement of the pumpkins because I'm lazy. This is how I do it. So, more loot bags. And more chrome. I need a ruby juice cell. Okay. That's going to require some sort of ruby ore. Have I got any ruby ore that's unprocessed? Lucky happy day. Okay, so I actually don't want to feed into the centrifuge. I automated my ruby juice stuff, so I need this to do it without actually automating it. All right, where is the stuff? There it is. I need that in a cell. What happened? It's in the pipe. Okay. The problem with automations is sometimes they're automated and they don't work. Let's remove this one. Let's grab a fluid tank. Let's see what happens when I just drop a fluid tank right there. Happy day. Then let's remove that tank. Let's remove this pressurized fluid conduit because it was not doing what I wanted it to do, which is what an ender fluid conduit does. Put that one in. And let's set that up to extract. Always active. Insert. Always active. Then we'll put the where did there they are. I'm blind. No, thank you. No, thank you. I kind of wish ender fluid conduits set themselves up as item fluid conduit. Excuse me, not item fluid, as item conduits do, and they just set up to automatically extract and nothing else with that extraction not active. So the quest completed, right? It did. Can I just... I think I can just be done. Yay! Put the empty cell away. Sorry, that quest kind of threw me for a loop there for a second. When the fluid conduit didn't do things as I expected. Alright, put the chrome dust away. Funny story is the ore drilling plant was something that I had to build because I was low on chrome and I didn't want to waste chrome that I had mined. Which is now kind of a silly thought because I have over a full drawer worth of chrome dust. Alright, next quest. Small brass item pipes. Well, that's kind of interesting. Let's see here. Need more brass. More brass is made in a mixer, a zinc, and 3 copper. The zinc and 3 copper. Put those through some macerators. Can I disassemble this? No, I cannot. I wonder what I did with it all. Who knows? Just store it for now. Brass. I think I could have just used the ingots. Because this probably works in an alloy smelter. Oh well. One extra step's not a problem. Oh my goodness, I have gone an hour over my expected time. I think that means I'm going to wrap up here shortly. There's probably going to be an ad break here in about 10 minutes. And when that ad break is about to happen, I'm going to snooze it. And I'm going to raid you guys off. Probably in about 5 minutes. Let me see if I can figure this out. Where are the ads thing? Okay. Twitch, please be helpful. Yasky, thank you for the follow. I know it's doing ads. I don't see the ads control thing. Okay. Well, since I know ads will start in about 5 minutes, in about 10 minutes, I'll raid out in 5 and call it a day. If there's anything people want to see before those 5 minutes are up, please let me know, and I will be happy to show off or explain what I've got. Otherwise, back to these small brass item pipes that are not going to survive very long. They're going to be made and then they're going to be unmade in about 10 seconds. My least favorite kind of quest. Oh, look, you have item pipes. Oh, look, I can smelt them right back into ingots. At least it's not a waste. I can get a little bit of extra steel, but, well, let's find out. Because if it doesn't work in the disassembler, I'm probably... Yep, it works in the disassembler. Nice. I'm going to say I'll probably just smelt them anyway, because I don't need steel right now. I've got steel on automatic, which is fun. Let's put this chunk loader away. Ethanone sounds like a hydrocarbon. Let's see here. Better tools. This is going to be a super slow craft. I think I've got those shards, though, which is nice. Because one of the things... it made me make a vanadium steel something before, and I was like, I don't need that item. Sword blade, maybe? But now I need a hammerhead, which... yeah, I don't need that either. But... I've got a machine that can do it for me, and I can just ignore it and come back later and get it. That doesn't have enough fuel, I don't think. Let's grab it a few more liters of benzene to make sure it doesn't run out of fuel. We'll say that there's roughly another minute or so of stream remaining. If anyone wants to ask for any special requests. I can do that. Conversely, we can just be pretty much done if people are okay with that. Ooh, a world accelerator. That'll be fun to make. How about tomorrow I do a meteor as the first thing I do once I start stream up? You're very welcome, system. Thanks for hanging out. Is it looking red? Am I leaving stream on a blood moon, or is that just the sun? Okay, it's just me tricking myself. Thought for a second I was gonna have a blood moon. Kitty kitty, say meow meow. But yeah, let's look for someone to raid. I don't think I could have gotten much further in the quest today. I'm at 139 of 148, which means there's 9 more to go. I believe it was about 120 when I started today, so 19 quests. I don't know if anybody has a feeling for how good or bad that is, but that's where I got. Let's look for someone to raid. Who is live? Following. Okay. I know exactly where we're going. This guy is pretty cool. I like him a lot. I watch him sometimes. I hope you guys have some fun over there. Raid. Alright. Let's get the name just right. Twitch allows you to copy paste, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'll see you over in his stream. Take care, everyone. I'm bad at saying goodbye. I will fully admit to that. I'll probably be live tomorrow sometime between 9 o'clock and noon Pacific. Excuse me. I will start sometime between 9 and 10 Pacific, and I will try to finish up by noon Pacific. I've gone over an hour over, but that's okay. Catch you later. Thanks for being here. I appreciate all the chats. I appreciate all the follows. You guys are awesome. Wouldn't stream if you guys weren't here, so thanks for making it fun to stream. Take it easy. It says he has follower, subscriber only chat. I think it's follower only. So when you get over there, you're going to have to be a follower if you want to chat, but that's okay.